We have a question here from Jean-Pierre who asks whether we would advise any retail traders to join a prop firm. Thanks for the question, JP. The first thing I'll say about the answer to this question is that I'm definitely not an expert by any means when it comes to prop firms. So I can share some thoughts on it, but I won't pretend to know all the ins and outs when it comes to prop firms, if that makes sense. So the finance industry, the one thing that I can tell you is that it can be a little bit of a dog eat dog world. When you look at things like big investment banks and hedge funds, the criteria for entering them are usually extremely difficult and strict. And some of the minimum requirements to pass, even just being considered into these funds, are usually extremely high. There was a business article, a Business Insider article a while ago explaining that only about 5% of people who apply to join investment banks or hedge funds are even considered for possible positions. So, with that in mind, the other option that retail traders often gravitate towards, even those that wants to join the finance game just out of college, is taking a shot at the industry from inside by joining a prop firm. Now, usually prop firms would be made up of traders who pile their funds together, trying to raise capital. And because they are usually set up by people who break away from the industry, so breaking away from investment banks or larger firms, they're often a lot smaller in size and will probably be less strict to some extent to allow someone to join the firm. Now, what some of them also do is they can actually charge people a fee to join a desk. So you can pay them to join the desk. So you can basically gain some valuable experience. Some of them also offer training programs within the firm. And if you are a standout individual from the training program, you can actually stand a chance to join the firm and trade for them. So, the one thing to keep in mind about that is if it's a good firm, they will usually also have a pretty strict policy for allowing people a seat at a desk, and because they obviously don't just want to allow anybody. So the process can also be picky, but it would definitely not be as strict in terms of investment banks or hedge funds. Now, one thing also to keep in mind is the competition out there is very, very tough. So when you apply, you're probably going to go up against applicants that have major degrees in economics and finance, probably a few master's degrees, candidates as well, fresh out of college looking to join the finance game. So what you could do, to try and stand out, to show them your character, show them your competency, is also giving them your trading track record. So if you can build a solid trading track record, over longer than 6 months at least, between a year and 2 years maybe, showing that you have a low drawdown and decent results. If you can show them that you can trade your own capital successfully over a longer period of time, that will definitely set you apart and give you a massive help to try and get noticed and into the door for those types of firms. So to your question, whether I would advise you joining a prop firm, it really comes down to your goals. Really, if you have the funds to buy a spot at a desk at a reputable firm and have the time and availability to go through their training process and go through their trading process, I think that'll be a very helpful and enriching experience for any trader. And if you're good enough, it might even give you a spot in the firm as an analyst or a trader. However, the one thing that I would add to that is that you don't need to do that to be a better trader, right? It might fast track your progress, and it might also fast track your giving you a fast track to a career in finance if that is your goals. But it's not a must to be able to trade successfully. I would say. So I hope that helps, JP. Any other questions? Don't hesitate to let us know.